Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to class on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. I really appreciate that. You'll definitely want a strap, and if you have it, 2 blocks, because we're going to be using those quite a bit today. But we're going to start by sitting well. And I know one of my gals out there has an injury, so take care of yourself. Please don't hurt anything. I think most of what I want to do today, you'll be able to do. So sit well, maybe move the flesh out from the sit bones and then snuggle in. I'm sitting up on a blanket this morning. Maybe bring the shoulders up to the ears and roll them back and down. Good. And again, take it up and squeeze it back and down. And then just roll the shoulders kind of forward and back as if you were doing a cat-cow at the upper spine without dropping the head. So you're just kind of squeezing them forward and squeezing them back. And breathe. Good. Couple more. And let that go. And then maybe close the eyes. Low belly has a little bit of tone to it. The shoulders are at the side body. I've been in a car a lot over the last 5 days, 6 days, so I'm feeling very tight. So we'll see what we can do with these bodies to loosen things up again. Find your breath. Taking a nice deep breath in. And exhaling it all the way out. Good. Breathing in. And exhaling out. Big, long breaths, everybody. Try to get to the top of your inhale and the bottom of your exhale. Good. One more. And then let the eyes open. And the same thing we did kind of stretching that upper back. I want you to do pelvic tilts and tucks, right? So you're just rounding back, but not dropping the head and tilting forward and then tucking and tilt. Good. Couple more. Tuck and stretch. Tuck and tilt. Good. One more here. Tuck and tilt. And then find that nice neutral spine, nice and neutral. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, one hand down, the other one stretches over. Now you can be way up on your hands, you can be down on your elbow, you can be somewhere in between, but notice if that opposite hip is really lifting. And if it is, I would press up a little bit. And then for my loves out there that roll that shoulder forward, right? Roll the shoulder back and soften that elbow. And then from here, drop the ear down toward the shoulder. Be very mindful of your neck. I just realized my one friend is probably going to not be able to do this with the hand down on the other side. Good. Bring the head back to neutral. Inhale, reach up. Same thing, other side. For my dear friend Julie, maybe her hand goes here instead. In fact, everybody could try that. It's kind of a nice thing. Unless your knee is really high, then it's not such a nice thing. And breathe, everybody. You can tell I'm still a little wonky from all the time on the road. Good. Drop the ear down. Be very gentle here. And bring it back to neutral. Reach up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Interlace those hands if you can and press out. If you cannot, you're just reaching those hands forward. And everybody inhale, reach up, spread through the ribs, open those hands and exhale down. Good. Roll those shoulders again. Inhale, reach up. And again, gentle here, one hand down and then reach over your knee. Inhale all the way up, diagonal it back, reach behind you, come into a seated twist. Your legs can be straight here. You can be sitting up on blocks. Good, just stretch it out and then maybe look over the opposite shoulder and back to the same side. Good, one more look over your shoulder and back. And then leave the hand that's on the knee, leave that there. Take the other hand up, cross your elbows and just come into a little eagle arms here. Elbows are crossed. Remember, eagle arms not for everybody. You might separate the hands or separate the elbows. I realize my black shirt doesn't show a lot of definition. So breathe, just stretch and then turn the head side to side. Stretching out through the neck, the shoulders. Good, release, inhale, take it up. You're gonna exhale, take the other hand down, stretch over, soften the shoulders. Remember, you can release that hand. If you don't wanna put pressure on it, press down through the opposite hip. And then reach over. Oh, I realize I'm gonna be on the same side. So switch. How did I do that? I thought it right when I did it too. Good. And then reach over your knee. Inhale, twist to the other side. Woo, boy. And spread through the collarbones. Just feel this nice twist on the correct side. And look over your shoulder. Then look back. Look over your opposite shoulder and back. And then just take the back hand, reach it up, cross your elbows, and come into eagle arms on this side. You probably notice one side tighter than the other. Whew, I sure do. And then again, just softly move the head side to side and just see if you can soften up through some of that tissue. And release, take it up. Exhale all the way down and straighten those legs, everybody. Whew, good. Give them a good shake. You're going to want both blocks nearby and maybe your strap. So if they're not near you, go ahead and bring them close and point flex your feet. I think I'll take this outer shirt off and circle the ankles. Whoop, here we go. Good. Point, flex, and flex. And then come into Janushirasana. Let's bring, I'll mirror here. Let's bring the left leg in and the right leg long. So we already know, right, if that knee is hanging up really high, we want to put something under it to support that. If you don't need it, that's okay. You can take both of your blocks forward in front of you and then take them up to that nice high level. Move the flesh out from the sit bones. Today's going to be a whole lot of stretching as we move our way toward a particular pose. So again, flex the foot, right? So we feel the quadricep engage. If you tend to hyperextend behind the knee, maybe you put a little blanket or a towel or something behind that so that you don't hurt your knee. And then those blocks are in front of you. Inhale, take the arms up. As you exhale, reach for those blocks, draw the shoulders back, and then feel the right leg draw back into the hip socket. So you're going to feel a nice, ideally a nice hamstring stretch without the rounding of the back. So I'm really thinking about a long spine here as I press the big toe mound out, as I lengthen through the spine, as I move the chest toward the foot. Good. Soften the shoulders, soften the gaze. Notice if your head is really reaching forward. If the head reaches really far forward, you're going to feel more rounding in the upper back. If this feels good, feels easy for you, maybe you take it down one level. My hands are barely touching. The blocks are there just for a little bit of support. Deep breath. Still feeling marvelous. You can take them lower and breathe. Think about the goal here, right? This tilt of the pelvis, this forward tilt of the pelvis. As we draw the ham or the hamstring long, the sit bone's actually moving back in space a little bit. Good, breathe. And then bring the blocks back just a little bit. You're going to take the inside block to the outside block so that both blocks are stacked, one on top of the other. And you're going to put both hands on that block. And again, we're going to lengthen. So long hold here. We're going to lengthen through the spine. If you feel okay here, one hand goes to the block. I just moved mine out a little further toward the foot. One hand to the block. It's that opposite hand. The right shoulder draws back, and I'm only taking the right hand to the right hip. Okay, that's all we're doing. The chest is still tall. The spine is still long. We've added a twist here. Find your breath. And then release. Take those blocks back to the middle. Listen up. Same leg. You're going to take it out to the side. Any amount. I say any amount because if you go too far, either for me, my inside knee starts to hurt if I go too far out. So I'm going to keep it in a little bit. And you still want your spine neutral. And you might still have a block underneath your knee, right? So inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Both hands go to your blocks. You can take them sideways if you want. Draw the shoulders back. Engage the long leg. Again, feeling this big stretch through the right hamstring. Some of you are going to stay up on hands. Some of you are going to come down to elbows. And breathe. So how do we find the stretches, right? These movements in our bodies without compromising other things. So in this case, not compromising the discs between the vertebra, especially for some of us, and getting this beautiful forward fold. I feel a lovely stretch in that right leg, right hamstring, but I don't feel any discomfort in the spine. So I'm pretty happy at the moment. Put your hands on your blocks, lift up, take the hands back a little bit, extend out through the other leg. Ooh, yeah, right. You might want to bring those blocks in a little bit closer. Again, either hands are here, you're just fine, right like that, or you're going to come down to your elbows and breathe. I know some of you are able to come all the way down, right? And whoop, got a little cramp there, and stretch that way. But maybe you play instead of dropping chest to floor with this area of the body getting nice and long. Like I still feel the move of the lower spine forward. All right, release everybody. Bring those legs together, bend your knees, just pause for a second. Move your blocks out of the way, straighten both legs, point flex, engage both legs. Give me a really solid Dandasana pose. Shoulders back, hands down, belly's toned in. Good, and release, shake that out. Let's go to the other side this time. The right knee is bent, the left leg is long. Again, I'm mirroring here. Maybe you have a block underneath, and if not, you can take both blocks in front of you, put them up nice and high. The hips are pretty squared. You're either on or off your blanket. Either one is okay with me. Nice strong legs. Inhale, take it up. And as you exhale, both hands come to your blocks. So again, maybe you wiggle a little bit. You go, okay, this side feels different. You can always walk the blocks out as long as you can draw those shoulders back. And again, I'm going to check this out. I've been in a car for the most part of 4 or 5 days, and I just want to see, where are these legs after such neglect? Maybe we take the blocks down lower. Maybe you've been sitting a lot for work, right? Or for a project that you're working on. So we breathe. The belly is toned, the chest is lifting, the head isn't overly reaching forward. Maybe we go lower. Yep, say good morning to your hamstrings. Thursday morning. Breathe. And then slide the blocks back to you. Stack both blocks to the outside and take both hands to that block. You might stay right here. That might be enough of a twist for you. Otherwise, that right hand stays on the block. The left hand goes to the hip and draws that hip back. And I'm just kind of gazing past those blocks to get a little bit of twist in the spine. Good. Notice what your long leg is doing. I just noticed mine was going to the inside. Kind of interesting. And breathe. And then press up. Ooh, good. And breathe, everybody. Bring those blocks to the center. Release that. Oops, never mind. Keep that knee. Take the other one out. Goodness gracious, you can tell. I'm still sleepy. Good. Legs out nice and wide. Both blocks are in front of you. Maybe you keep them nice and close. Inhale, take it up. Hang in there with me. By the time this class is over, I'll have it down. Good. Feel both sit bones down. Maybe you take your elbows to your blocks. Maybe not, right? How's it feeling on this side? You might notice when the leg is forward versus the leg out, you're going to feel a different stretch along the hamstring and probably into the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. Deep breath. That's it. One more. Good. And lift up. Lean back with your hands. Take the other leg out. Both legs extended. Maybe you bring the blocks in nice and close. Maybe you walk them out a little bit. Now both legs are warmed up a bit more, but notice again that lower back, right? Can we keep the chest moving forward without the rounding? Good. Deep breath. And release, everybody. Slide those legs together. Take both blocks, one stacked on top of the other. Bring it right between your shins, right below the knees. Flex your feet. Sit up really tall. Take the hands up. Variation of Dandasana. Good. Breathe. Squeeze your block, everybody. Squeeze your blocks. And exhale, let go. Nice. Move that block out of those blocks out of the way. Grab your strap. Maybe bend the knees, give them a little bit of a rest. Now, two things you can do here, depending on how your knees are. Either you're going to bend one knee, again, put a block underneath it is okay with me. The other leg would be like Janu, but we're going to take the strap around it this time. Hold on to that strap and lift up. Now, if this hurts your knee, you can straighten both legs and just lift one. That's okay with me too. If it's okay with you, it's okay with me. And sorry, I am a little silly today. Lift that leg up, lift the chest. Think about where that leg is. It doesn't have to be really high, but the shoulders are square, the sit bones are even. I'm pressing down with the straight leg while I'm extending through the other one. Good. Breathe. Take the strap. If this is my right leg, take the strap in your right hand. Take that right leg out to the right. Take the other leg up. Good. Nice deep breath. Whew, sit up really, really tall. And then grab the strap with the other hand, bring it across. Say hello to your abductors, right? We're stretching through the tensor fascia lata, IT band. Other arm up, lift your chest. And breathe. Take the leg center. Listen up. Last one here. You're just going to take it's your right leg, it's your left hand. Hold on with your left hand, and then take your right hand down to your side. or to your hip, either one. As you extend out, now you're looking again at that sort of diagonal passing through. And release. Ooh, yeah, straighten both legs. Release your strap, just shake them out. Same thing, other side. Bend the right knee if that's appropriate for you. Block under the knee if that makes sense. Strap around the left foot, straighten that leg. Flex your foot. I'm kind of half on, half off my blanket here, so let me fix that. And then get really tall and take that leg up and breathe. And again, notice, how does it feel on this side? Can I stay lifted and tall? If not, by the way, one hand could go behind to help with that. Otherwise, the arm is up. I'm lifting, I'm trying to move my chest toward that foot. Taking a really deep breath here. Flex the foot, tone the belly. And then take that leg wide. Feel that stretch and the work, no kidding, right? On those hip flexors. You got it. And then reach it across, grab that strap with your other hand. Lift, pressing the leg that's down, press that down, lift up through the chest. You got it. And then take the leg center, but you're gonna take, so if that's my left leg, it's my right hand grabbing the strap. The left hand is going to the hip or to the floor behind me. The chest is twisting. I'm looking off at a diagonal angle there. That's it. And release it. And let go and shake out both legs. Good. And then bend both knees. Let's take both feet together. A very easy Baddha Konasana, lots of space between the heels and the groin. Grab maybe one block and put it to the inside of your heels and just put your elbows on that block. Yep, you got this. And again, just notice, where's the rounding, especially at the lower back. Can you move this whole low mid back forward toward the block, as if you wanted to bring your belly button to the block? If you're okay here, I want you to stay here. If you can go a little further, you're taking the block to the front of your toes and you're going to lean forward. But again, I want you to assess and see what's happening with your body, with your lower back. Breathe. Some of you have the space and the external hip rotation to just take those hands down to the floor. Come on up, everyone. Grab your block, set it aside, bring those legs together. We are almost done with this. You're going to have one block on either side of you. I'm going to order different color blocks, by the way, so they stand out a little bit better. I want you to bend your right leg. Let your ankle go past, or it's kind of a seated figure four. Your other block is going to go under your knee at any level where it touches. So either, for most of us, it's either low or it's up at the second level. Now watch this thing happening here with the knee and the ankle. You don't want to hyperextend there. So if it's too much pressure, you're going to take your other block and just set it underneath your knee. It actually feels good. So do that even if it's not hyperextending. Just put that block underneath the knee so that that leg stays bent. And then tilt through your pelvis. Start to move the chest forward. Don't drop the head. And maybe the hands come forward. So this is a variation of seated figure four. Good. Notice my knee obviously is no longer touching this. It doesn't need it. Breathe. I know this is a lot. If that's hard for hips, ankles, or knees, you can take that ankle, that right ankle below the knee, never on top of the knee. Good. Breathe. Again, as we take the torso forward, see what you can do to avoid the excess rounding, right? There might be a little bit, but let's see what we can do not to make that a bigger thing. And come on up. Woohoo! And straighten that leg. Switch sides. Take the block under your knee. Come into figure four. Maybe you support the other knee with your block. See, that worked when I didn't have a block underneath. There, you don't really need it. So good. Sit up really tall. This might be it. You might feel a heck of a stretch right there. So it's kind of interesting. There's this whole thing about stretching hamstrings, and that one way to stretch hamstrings is to keep that knee bent um, to access a different part of the hamstring. So we start to take the torso forward, maybe the hands come forward, but I'm really focusing on not letting my back round. And I put my hands at the chest because it's that reminder to lift the chest and move that forward instead of just rounding into the back. Big deep breath. Ooh. Good. And release. Come on up, everybody. Bend both knees. Take that same block, put it between your knees, and just lean back and squeeze the heck out of that block. If you don't want to use those hands for any reason, you can take your hands to the front knees or underneath your thighs. Lift up tall. If you're still good, you're leaning back. So we're doing just a little core work here. Squeeze your block and release it and let go. Whew. Nice job, everyone. Shake all that out. You're going to have both blocks to the front of your yoga mat. I don't think we're going to need our strap for now, so you can just set that aside. And make your way to standing. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way too. Make your way to standing in any way that makes sense. Again, I know one of you is not going to weight bear on one hand. So I know she can get up without using that weight. And come on up. Good. Grab your blocks and stack them again, one on top of the other, and have that at the front of your yoga mat. And then stand really tall. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, your hands are going to come to your blocks. And you're just going to wiggle, even if this is not a deep forward fold for you. Leave the hands there for now. Start to wiggle down. If this is a deep one, you can take that top block up high and keep your hands here so you're more neutral spine, right? Or take it up on the high level and bring elbows to it. So decide what feels good for you that doesn't make you go super deep, and then lift up through the sit bones. Imagine you're taking your whole torso over a bowling or a beach ball, and then just lift up and over that. Some of you might be able to come down to elbows or somewhere in between. That is a deep forward fold, probably a little too deep for me this morning. Breathe. And then soften the knees, walk your left foot up, and then step back through your right foot. So again, my hands on my blocks are super light, like I could take them off. So the blocks are just in front of my left foot. My hips are level. The back leg starts to fire up. You can go to a soft fist on the right hand as you take your left hand to your hip. Press through your back heel. Start to feel the ribs and everything start to turn, and take that arm up. Good. Breathe. Where are you? You can even come to fingertips here. How much weight do you need on the blocks to keep you in this really nice little lunge twist, right? And then let those hands come back. The hands are on either side of those blocks. And we're going to straighten the front leg. Once your front leg is straight, imagine bringing your chin up toward the blocks. In other words, Take the rounding out, everybody, and breathe. If that is too much, too deep, you bring the blocks closer or higher. Okay. Good. Breathe. And then bend your front knee. Careful here. You're just going to step forward. Bend the knees. Take your hands to your knees and look up. Reach up with both arms. Exhale back down to your blocks. Soften the knees here. Step back left leg. Make sure you're stepping back. Hips width, right? Hands are light on the blocks. The low belly is engaged. The back leg is working. And then take the left hand to a soft fist. Take your right hand to your waist, to your hip, and feel the twist as the ribs move and the torso stays long, the tailbone stays long, and maybe the right arm lifts up. You don't have to do soft fists, by the way. You can do your hands, you can do your fingertips. Breathe. Pressing into the full foot, that full front foot, so that you're not leaning to the outside. And let that hand come down. One hand rests, or both hands rest on the blocks or to the sides. And we straighten the front leg. And again here, right, adjust your pose. Check the hips. See if you can lengthen, as if I could bring my chin over the center of the blocks, or my eye gaze over the center of the blocks. And breathe. And then bend your front leg, step forward, everybody, bend both knees, hands to knees, come on up. Whew. And roll that out. So you still have both blocks, they're both stacked. I'm just gonna face forward so you can see. Oops, turn them sideways so that they're at the most narrow width between your feet, and squeeze your blocks. Right, so I'm trying to get my big toe mounds to the blocks, as well as my inner shins. Don't worry about it if it doesn't work exactly right for you. Just do your best to get as much contact with those blocks as you can. And feel that, right? So this is that whole idea of the shins move in, but the thighs move back. It's I think more Anasara language. But it's this idea that we can press in through the shins, activate that inner line, press the thighs back, keep the torso nice and tall. Inhale, reach up. Watch your backs here. Exhale, forward fold. Either those hands are going to come right to your blocks, squeezing between the shins, or the fingertips are going to come to the floor, still squeezing between the shins. And breathe. Soft back of the knees here. And then bend the knees a little bit, but lift the sit bone. So again, hamstrings. That's it. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hands come to your knees. Lift your chest. Squeeze your blocks. Come into chair pose, everybody. So watch that distance between the knees. I just realized mine were curling in a little bit. So maybe you look down and make sure the knees are staying right over the center of the feet. We sit down on that pose. We engage the arms and then stand all the way up. Exhale, shake all that out. Step out of those blocks. Bring them back to the front of your mat. They're still stacked. Your feet are to this side or the back side of your blocks. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to blocks. Soften the knees and step back with your right leg. Good, we've been here already. I want you to take the blocks to the inside of your left foot, okay? So they're no longer in front, they're right to the inside. And press your inner ankle to the blocks. And notice that, just feel that for a second. Leave your right hand where it is, circle your left arm up, come back to a twist, press through the back heel. At the same time I'm reaching that back heel, by the way, I'm thinking of the back thigh lifting up toward the ceiling. Yes, it can be done. All those things at once can be done. Breathe, hands down to your blocks, straight in the front leg. This time, drop the back heel toward the side, or not side, but just drop it to the inside a little bit. Thinking pyramid pose. Yep. Bend your front knee, shorten your stance. Walk the blocks forward. So we're in pyramid pose, intense side stretch. I'm pressing into the four corners of both feet. I'm going to start to really lengthen my chest forward. Head is neutral. I've got very little weight on my hands. Breathe. Bend your front knee, push up and step forward. Bend both knees, take your hands to your knees and come on up. Once you're up, give your behind a good squeeze. Let's bring all those muscles back together. Open the shoulders. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands go to your knees. The feet are hips width apart. Step back with your left leg. Here we are again, right? Level hips, pressing through that back. The blocks are going to come in just a little bit more, not too much. Your left hand is either soft fist or hand, right arm reaches up. So once again, in this lunge and a twist, the belly tones in. Remember, you can go to a soft fist here. That brings you up even higher. Feel everything working. Yep, take a deep breath, everybody. And then lower that hand back to the blocks, straight in the front leg. Turn the back foot in a little bit. What I'm noticing is my front leg was out to the side a little bit because of the blocks. So maybe you walk that front leg in so you're more level from hip to foot. Good, breathe. Maybe you walk the blocks forward just a little bit. Pressing into the big toe mound. Finding that really nice long pose. Maybe shorten your stance a little bit. And breathe. And then bend both knees, step forward. Bend the knees, hands come to knees, standing up, squeeze your hips, roll your shoulders, shake it all out. And then just simply find mountain pose, pretend the blocks are there. Bring those shins in without letting the knees curl in. Get really tall in your pose. Mountain pose, everybody. Shake out those arms. Maybe roll the shoulders back. Inhale, reach the arms up. You got it. Squeeze through the beach ball. Squeeze through the glutes. Squeeze through the inner shins. And exhale, let go. Shake it out. All right, so final one here where I've been trying to work toward is reverse triangle. We've done all of the leg work. I know, that was funny. Come on now, gotta give me, that was funny. Done all the leg work for it. So we're ready to move into this reverse triangle, which can be a really tricky pose. So I want you to, well, we'll start the way we've been, which is both blocks stacked at the widest level at the front of your mat. And stand really tall. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down to blocks. Just find your forward fold and breathe. Hands come back to your blocks if they left. Bend the knees and step back with your right leg. So we're starting where we were before. We're in a lunge. Take the blocks closer to the inside foot. Your right hand at the block, your right leg active, your left arm goes up. We were here already. This is old stuff. You already know. Take that same hand back down to your blocks, straight in the front leg. When you straighten the front leg, look at the back leg. See if you can drop the back inner heel in just a little bit so that the hips can square. Good. Bend your front knee and shorten the pose just a little bit. Turn both blocks to the long way, right? So they're long along the inside edge of your foot. Your right hand stays on the blocks. It can be a flat hand or a fist. The left hand goes to your hip. Front leg is relatively straight. Here is the variation of reverse triangle. If you want, take that top arm up. The spine is long. I'm not rounding. The legs are active. I'm actually trying to push my feet away from each other. Now, bring the hand back to your blocks. Here's your option. Both blocks to the outside of your foot. And I'm actually going to take the blocks about halfway forward. So half of it is in front of my toes, half of it is behind. Right hand to blocks, left hand to hip, front leg relatively straight, sacrum long, and the arms come up. Good. Breathe, everybody. Deep, deep breath. Press through your back leg, press through the toe mound of your front. And release. Woo, tricky pose, tricky, tricky. Bend your front leg, step forward. Woo, and come on up to standing. Oh, yeah, shake it out. Grab one block, take it between your thighs. Give the block a good squeeze. Try not to pop those knees back, right? I always try to keep the back of the knees soft, even if the legs are straight. Nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. All right, release. Let's go right to the other side. So we're going to start with those blocks stacked, just like we did before. Our feet are forward. We're in mountain pose. We feel strong. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down. Soften the knees and step back with your left leg. So I've got the blocks there. I'm actually going to move them just a little bit to the inside so that my wrist and my shoulder are going to stack. Press through your back leg. Your right hand can go to your hip. You can look to the right. When and if you're ready, the right arm goes up. And breathe. Now check your chin. Don't lift your chin. I don't even like looking up at my thumb. A lot of people do. I like that nice neutral spine. And breathe. Let the hand come back down to your blocks. Straighten the front foot. Just take it, straighten the front knee rather, and drop the back heel. Just take a look at the front leg and make sure it's not skewing too far out to the right because the blocks maybe were in the way. And again, you can go with soft hands here. You're really wanting to use your core more than your body weight. Good. Breathe, everybody. Shorten your stance just a little bit. Walk the blocks forward. Turn them to the long way. So I'm half in front of my toes, half behind my toes. And then left hand stays down, right hand goes to my hip. I'm going to see if I can open that space up again. Take the arm up. Find your breath. Release the hand down. Either do that one more time or take the blocks to the outside. I thought I was a little narrow. I felt real unbalanced on this side. I think I was too narrow. And left hand to blocks, right hand to hip, right arm up as an option. And breathe. And release. Holy moly. Step forward. Ah. Grab one block as you come up. Come to standing. Take that block between your thighs. Walk the feet in. Bring the shins in. Squeeze your block. Open up the shoulders. And breathe. One hand to your chest, one hand to your tailbone or your sacrum. Draw them in opposite directions. And feel everything start to open. Leave that, let the hands drop. Squeeze your block. And release that. Oh, good job, everybody. All right. So last one here, your both blocks are up at that higher level. We're going to shake everything out. This one you'll need a lot more weight bearing probably on the hands. So you know who you are, Miss Julie. Maybe watch this one. Both hands to your blocks. The feet walk back so that you are more L-shaped. And if you could imagine, right, that tone into the belly, the spine neutral, the excess rounding out, and then just come to your tippy toes. Yep, bend the knees, come to your tippy toes, and feel that. And then very purposefully drop the heels down, bend just your left leg, and let it rise up level-ish with your hip. And breathe. If you're good here, stay. If you want, lower the blocks by one. Yep. And breathe. Take just your right hand to your right hip and look toward the right. We're not going to raise that hand. Breathe. Lower that hand. Lower the leg. Good. Take both blocks back up high. Find your balance. When you're ready, bend the knees. Lift your other leg, your right leg. Just check it out. Maybe you look at your knee. Maybe you look at your hip. Where are you on that leg? One, you're here. Two, you're going to lower. Just by one. That in itself is fun. And breathe. Take your left hand to your left hip and look left. Whew, I know. Release the hand, release the leg. Whew. Bend both knees. Keep your hands on your blocks. So nice big squat. The blocks are way ahead, way in front of you. Your head kind of goes between the arms or just above. And you're stretching back much like a down dog in the upper body, but creating lots of traction for your spine. Deep breath. Release those hands from your blocks. We're coming down to the floor. So Julie, come down the way you are able. If you're still with me, everybody else, downward facing dog. Our first real down dog of class. And lower down to your knees, everybody. Whew. And release to a seat. Oh, good. Squeeze the wrists. Shake it out. Stretch out through your fingers. Oops. And you can set your blocks aside for now. So we're going to sit with our heels digging into our yoga mat. The feet are toward the front edge of your mat. Hands are behind your thighs. And lift your chest. Roll the shoulders back. Yep, and breathe. Maybe extend one leg out. Maybe reach the arms. Lift your chest. Woo. Bend the knee and release. Same thing other side. The hands go behind, the chest lifts. Find that, right? Core engagement. Extend through the other leg. Maybe take the hands out, maybe not. Try to stay lifted and release and breathe. Dig both heels in. Once you've got the heels dug in, I want you to pull them back isometrically. Engage those hamstrings. Lift your chest, take the arms up, lean back, and breathe. Dig those heels in best you can. I know they get light here. Core is working, hamstrings are working, shoulders are back and down, right? Whew, breathe, dig in, dig in, dig in. Can you go a little lower? And press all the way up. Find your breath. Come on up. Lift through your chest, hands underneath. Let's take it up to a boat pose. Now, your knees can be bent like mine. They can be straight. Hands behind, chest lifted. Bend, release the arms. Whew. Hang in there. Cross ankles, everybody. Reach the arms to one side. So again, there's our twist. Bring them back to center. Reach to the other side. Center and release fully. Both feet in front. Have your strap nearby. Have your block nearby. We're going to come down to the floor. So dig your heels in, take the arms out, lift your chest, come on down, slow, 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 all the way down. I bet that feels good. Your knees can come to your chest. Try not to over round. And then both feet to the floor, grab your strap. Take the strap around your right foot. Your left foot stays where it is. The strap is in your right hand. Your left arm is in cactus pose. And take the right leg out to the right as the left knee goes to the left. And right away, just feel what's going on with your hips. Try to keep the extended leg pretty much out from the hip. It does not have to go low. Your left hip is staying down on the floor. And then just lift your left foot off the floor. So it would be as if you were in a wide leg, a supine wide leg pose, but one knee is bent, one leg is straight. Good, breathe. And then bring both legs in, cross. One leg straight, one leg bent. Cool, yeah. Both legs straight up. The feet go into the strap and we go wide. Hold on to your strap. Let the strap do the work. Maybe press those feet out into the strap. Bring the feet together. Bend both knees, both feet to the floor. Pause here for a moment. And then take the strap in the left foot. Take the left leg up. Leave the right leg where it is. Take the left leg out to the side. Take the right knee out to the side. Level your hips. And then lift the right foot off the floor. Shoulders are down. Your right arm can be in cactus to help with this balance. Bring both legs in and across. Grab the strap with your right hand. One leg straight, one leg bent. This is a holy moly stretch. In other words, whew, right? Breathe. Your left leg relatively straight here. The right knee is going across. Bring them both back to center. Take them both into your strap and go wide. Just let your shoulders, your arms be heavy here. Press gently out into the strap. Try to stay on the sacrum and less on the lower back. Take a really deep breath, everyone. Squeeze them together. Bend your knees and release your strap. Cross one knee over the other and draw both knees toward your chest. And just breathe. Now, one, you're going to stay here. Two, you're going to come back to the sacrum, right? So knees to chest, my back is fully flat on the floor. I'm going to push the knees away and come back to a neutral spine, which means I have a soft curve in my lower back. I'm going to take both hands to the top of my knee or to the front of my knee, and I'm going to push my knee into my hands, and I'm just going to resist. And breathe. And then release that. Slide your hands down your shins and come into any version of cow face legs that you would like. So sometimes I'll just separate the heels and hold on to the shins and pull the shins away a little bit. Sometimes I can grab the feet or the sides of the feet and reach that way. Some people will grab the tops of the feet instead of the bottoms. So try not to pull on the feet. The feet should be pretty neutral, right? We're just trying to find a little bit of purchase here. Again, the shins or ankles tend to be a really nice place for most people. And then release the heels down. Release the legs, switch sides. So other knee on top, both knees to chest. Breathe. And then come back to the sacrum, right? So we take that flat back out. We come back to a neutral spine. We start to separate the heels. We slide those hands down the shins and we see what we can find on this side. Breathe, everybody. Try not to overly round. Soften the shoulders. Smile. Deep breath. And lower. And release. Both knees are to your chest. Both legs go straight. The hands are behind your thighs. Press your thighs into your hands and vice versa. Take the legs wide. Bend the knees. The knees are still wide. Bring the knees together. Straighten them up to the ceiling. Go wide. Bend the knees. Bring the knees back together. One more here. Straight legs. Go wide. Bend the knees. Whew. Bring those knees together. Grab your block. Take that block between your knees. Whew. And straighten those legs up toward the ceiling. Find the middle space, right? So I'm not flat on my back. I'm not overarched. I'm squeezing that block between my knees. The feet are flexed. I'm going to lower the legs just a little bit. Now, for some of my folks out there, hands underneath is a nice thing, right? It gives that low back a little more support. Otherwise, the hands are down, the shoulders are down. Squeeze your block, go a little lower. Squeeze. Just pause. Now, if you notice your jaw getting rock hard, let that go. Squeeze your block. Maybe you can go a little lower. Maybe. Watch the back, watch the belly, find your breath. Maybe you can go a little lower. Squeeze the block. Squeeze. You got it, everybody. Bend your knees, bring that block toward your chest, straighten the legs, lower those legs all the way down to the floor. And then bend your knees, grab your block, set it aside. Roll over to one side. I'm on my right side. Maybe you go to your right side. Let your head be neutral. And just breathe. Good. Bring that top knee to your chest. Squeeze it in. Grab your foot, your shin, or behind the knee and straighten that leg straight out from your hip. Take it up, 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 up to the ceiling. Maybe you can grab your toe or your shin there and take it straight up. Lower it straight down again. Hover for a moment and then bend and release. And then simply do a circle with that hip, right? So sometimes those hips get tight. We're almost done here. We're just going to stretch that baby out. Circle the other way. I like this version of hip circles, by the way. It's very supportive. It's really nice for the hip joint. Woo. And then straighten that leg out and let it drop to the floor. If you can, straight leg. If not, bend that knee a little bit. Straighten the other leg. And pause. The hip is nice and long. The torso is nice and long. One, you're right here, nothing else to do. Two, the bottom shoulder has to reach forward and down. And we come into one more twist. Don't have to go there. Breathe. That top leg can also be bent. Both knees can also be bent. Bend your top knee. Bend your bottom knee. Whew. And go over to the other side, whichever way you can do that. I'm just going to roll over so I have room. Ooh, starting to get chilly in here. Both knees are bent. Tone your belly. Bring your top knee to your chest. So we're pressing down through the bottom leg. Extend it out. Lift it up. Breathe. You can even bend and grab a toe or grab a shin, or you can just let it hang up toward the sky without a hand. Breathe. Good. If you got a hold of it, let it go. Slowly, slowly, slowly lower it to the front. Bend your knee. Release. Good. Do knee circles or hip circles on this side. Really go slow here. It's not about how big that circle is, right? If you're feeling a lot of clunking, then I would either change directions, which everybody should by now, or I would make that circle a whole lot smaller, right? Usually it's a tendon popping over the bone, but you don't want to keep doing that. Good. Breathe. And then extend the leg out. Lower that foot in front of you, straighten the other leg. Some of you might just hang out here. This feels kind of nice. I like this stretch a lot. Or take that bottom shoulder and move it out to start to come toward a flat back. I am not flat back on this side. The other side, I was closer. Never, ever, ever force a twist, ever. Breathe. Remember, top knee can be bent. That's going to ease up. Both knees can be bent. That will ease up the twist even more. Some of you will be able to grab your toe. Breathe. Bend your top knee, bend your bottom knee. Come on to your backs. Feet to the floor. Press into the upper arms, elbows, fingers, very soft to the ceiling. I want you to lengthen the tailbone and just lift up, stretch, and tap the sacrum, tap the hips, and lift. Exhale, lower. Good. 3 more. Tap, lift, everybody. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Tap and lower. And lift and lower fully. Both knees to chest. Well done. One leg straightens, the other one stays. Stretch out the front thighs. I've actually done a lot of thigh work today by stretching the hammies. And switch legs. And release both legs for Shavasana. I'm going to put a shirt on because it's chilly in here. So both legs straight. Find your best, most wonderful Shavasana. Notice your breath. And just feel your body melt down to the mat. Feel the breath start to settle deep within the body. And in Shavasana, we not only surrender to everything, we also take this time to integrate our practice into our bodies, into the muscles, the cells, the tissue. Feel yourself start to melt into the floor. Soften down even more. Soften even more. For those of you who are ready, start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Deepen the breath as you bend the knees, drawing those knees toward chest. And just rock side to side, allowing the knees to roll to one side or the other. And from there, pressing all the way up, coming back to your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart, bow to your own inner strength, inner wisdom, that inner knowing that guides your body, your mind, your heart. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. I made it.